Hey friend, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. I'm Gabby Flater, a faith-led wife, mom of 3, certified nutrition consultant, personal trainer, and passionate about changing lives. I know how frustrating it can be to navigate the health and wellness world. You want to be motivated to prioritize your well-being and wish you were more educated when it comes to cultivating a healthy home. Maybe you're a mom who's completely burnt out and needs a fresh perspective on life, or you're searching for a place to feel seen, heard, and encouraged in a godly manner. No matter if you're doing the dishes, getting your sweat on, or drinking reheated coffee while watching the kids play, there is always an opportunity for growth. If you are ready to finally take action about these desires and are ready to learn, grow, and transform your mind, then you are in the right place. It's time to establish deeper roots so you can enjoy a more fruitful and fulfilling harvest. Let's dig in. Welcome back to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. My name is Gabby, and I am grateful for you tuning in. Thanks so much for being here and taking time to really just invest in you. But just you listening week by week supports the show and means so much to me. So every download, every listen means the world and just keeps me going forward here. So I don't even know where the month is gone. Like, how are we already into, what is it, the last week of October? Hold on, I need to pull up my calendar. We're like the last full week of October. Wow. And then November, December, and before you know it, we're all singing Happy New Year. Just like that. So I really hope that you guys just cherish these last few months of the year, that you fill them with your loved ones, that you create special memories, that you don't hold, or that you don't take things for granted, and just really soak up the time that you have with people that maybe you don't see as often. Just also making the most out of the rest of this year. How do you want to finish off the year? And what do you want to reflect on? So that'll be, wow, to do a podcast on reflecting on the year. That's kind of crazy to think about. Like, I feel like ever since 2020 hit, like, how in the world are we already approaching 3 years later? Like, 2023 is coming. I don't even know how to process any of that. But we'll do it together. We'll do it here. So anyway, just really wanted you to just fully embrace these last couple months of the year, and make the most of them. And don't wish them away as hard or stressful, or if they open memories or hurts or losses. Just hope that you can be refreshed and find new ways to enjoy them and get through them and make the most of them. So let's see. This week, we'll just kind of roll right into it. But quickly, I have to tell you guys, we are finding out the gender of baby next week, and I'm so excited. So excited to find out. We will be finding out on Thursday, October 27th. So, boy or girl, gotta let me know. My husband and I both think it's a boy. Our boys both think it's a girl. They think Juliet should have a sister. It'll be exciting to find out. My husband and I will go. We'll find out together. And that's just what we've always done. And we just find out right then. And then we'll have the kids we'll reveal to the kids in a fun way. And we'll take a video of that and send that to all of our close family and friends before we make that public. But really excited to find out what that is, and just crazy to think that I'm already halfway. Like, my goodness, I will be 20 weeks on the day that we find out. Feeling good, starting to get to the point where I feel not like laying on my belly is kind of like, yep, that's not super comfortable. Getting out of bed, kind of now have to start rolling to the side. Can't just crunch up and get up and go. Starting to feel a little bit more of that round belly getting in, not get in the way, but, just start to really make itself known. That I have to kind of shift. Oh yeah, I tried leaning down to tie my shoelace to fix it. And I was like, oh, I can't reach. No, I can't do it. So that was eye-opening to kind of where I'm at right now. So just still plugging away here and excited to chat a little bit more about kind of what lies ahead with this pregnancy and our plans and all of that stuff. We'll be sharing more of that with you guys. But just super grateful for healthy pregnancy so far and healthy baby. As far as we know, we'll find out more on Thursday and kind of go from there. So, all right. So this week, I wanted to chat a little bit about cooking from home because we're in the Midwest here, so, no matter where you listen, this will still apply, but, we're starting to kind of hunker down. It's getting cold, chillier months, and you just kind of think of all the warm, soups and chilies and casseroles or just warm dishes that really just fill your soul and fill up your body, and just, you kind of get into this mode of, it's not grill season, it's not campfire season, it's not, cool food, salad season, and just the benefits of cooking at home. And just really wanting to encourage you guys to just give it a go and really start to get in your kitchens and make mistakes and have meals that aren't delicious, and then you learn from that and you make something delicious eventually. Like, if you are not good at being in the kitchen, that is okay. You have to start somewhere, but it's only going to serve you in your home long term if you actually learn and you actually practice and you try things and you ask them, what did they like? What didn't they like? What would they like to see more of? Did you like this spice? Oh, no, not really. Okay, I'll remember that next time. I won't use it. Just different things. Every family is different in what they like and what they don't like. And us as moms and, wives and all of the things, I think it's really important. And sometimes, my husband can cook. He definitely can. He's definitely not as passionate about it as me, but he knows how to make a meal if he needs to. Like, he's not, not skilled in that area. But I'm the one typically in the kitchen doing things, coming up with recipes and all of the things. So, it's not just a girl thing to do, but I think there's just such a neat thing to be able to bless your home with a skill that everybody needs to have in order to really nourish your body fully, nourish your family, and give your family good, wholesome, hard work, meal, a hard-earned meal that you worked to put on the table. It wasn't just a click on the app on the phone and delivered or picked up or just slapped it, gotten in the frozen section at the store and thrown in the freezer, or in the oven to cook up. You actually spent the time and the love and the energy and all of that and the resources to put something together that's going to make your family come together at the table and enjoy something. So that is my goal with this quick podcast here. Just, I think that we've lost touch with our health and our bodies because we've lost touch with our food. So, people are they feel sick, they feel ill, they don't know what's up, what's down. They are craving things. Our world is very different I'm not saying we have to go back to like, we gotta have our own fields and hunt and kill our own meat. And like, no, we have such great resources these days to be able to not have to do any of that. But we've gotten so used to the convenient, and like the less in the kitchen we are, the less we're, having to shop for the foods and figure out what goes with what, and like just all the basics, and just learning how does it get from start to finish and onto the table. We just get it into our bellies, and we don't even think about, where it necessarily all like comes from. And I think that's such a neat thing to be able to give to our kids when we can teach them the whole process. That's one thing I love about gardening is like, hey, look, we grew this, and this is just how anything else in the store that we buy is how it's done. Like, this is how a tomato is grown, and people grow them and ship them, and this is how they're at the store. But look, we can do it here at our home. It's fresh. It doesn't have to be shipped and sitting in a store. No pesticides or any ucky things have to go on them to keep them fresher for longer through all the traveling they have to go through and sitting in the store. They're able to be picked at the best time, like all of the things. So it's just neat to be able to give your kids an opportunity to be hands-on and visual with some of those things. So I just think that we've been fueling our bodies with a lot of ultra-processed, nutrient-depleted, chemical-laden foods, and it's just because we've morphed into a culture that's fast-paced, we're impatient, and we're highly marketed too. It's a lot of marketing stuff too. Commercials, all the flashy commercials, and then you walk through the stores and all of the packaging, the pretty packaging, and your kids want it because they put it right at eye level for them to see. Maybe you see celebrities talking about something. I always wonder if they actually use the product, or if they were just like, yeah, you're going to pay me this much money to talk about your product? Sure, no problem. I'll do it. And then everybody thinks that drinking Coke or Gatorade is good for them because, so-and-so on the TV who's an athlete said so and drinks it. So that's what I have to say about that. So yeah, just because, we're fast-paced, we're impatient, we aren't in our kitchens anymore. Or we aren't in our kitchens that much or for long. Family dinner at the table is less common, and we're over-consuming food, yet we're undernourished. So we've got no problem eating the food. Our problem is eating the right foods and getting the right nutrition. And really just thinking about, what are you teaching the next generation? You're just teaching them to go through the drive-thru? You're just teaching them to grab the freezer meals? Are you teaching them just to eat like, boxed hamburger helper all the time? Yeah, that doesn't help them. That doesn't help our society get healthier. It doesn't help our kids learn the value of making a meal from scratch, from start to finish. And they don't have to be complicated. They can be simple and nourishing. And it will go a long way. Because you'll be spending more time doing the things that you love rather than feeling energy depleted or sick in the hospital, at the doctor, on the couch, needing to buy this and buy that to feel better. You can put your time and energy and money and resources towards good food that's going to ultimately fuel you and your family for life, rather than relying on the grocery store, prepackaged things, or McDonald's, or any of those places. Even if it's a healthier restaurant, like that's fine. But like, how many times are you relying on all of that? Rotisserie chickens at Costco. Why don't you cook your own? That's not injected with all the stuff they put in there. It's fine every now and again. Totally. Super convenient. I've done it. But I do not rely on it all the time, because I know that it's not something that we need to consume all the time. I'd rather make sure that we're buying a better chicken, or if I can find one on sale, and put the spices and ingredients that I would want to flavor it with more often than not. So that is what I encourage you guys to do. So yeah, in terms of, just teaching the next generation, paving the way for them. Do you bring your kids to the grocery store? Are you growing a garden? Are you getting them involved in making meals? Teaching them to eat the rainbow. I mean, that was one way that we really started to talk to our oldest. Just kind of talk about, I think it was really when COVID hit and he was having questions and we were trying to help explain some things, like just how to keep ourselves healthy and why some people aren't as healthy. And we just say that like it's pretty simple and it's really just, you think of the rainbow. There's so many different color foods and all of them have a purpose. And we just want to eat the rainbow. We want to eat a variety of things and they're all filled with different kinds of vitamins and minerals. And so we always just, try to remind them of that. And, we say we eat the rainbow in our house. This is what we do. And it's good for us. And, growing a garden, it could be a simple thing as, whether you're an elaborate gardener or, you want to grow a couple of your favorite things. Like literally you could just pick one thing and start growing it and get your kids involved. Grow some radishes, grow some tomatoes, grow lettuce, whatever it is that your family's going to eat. The kids get so excited. I mean, adults get excited. It's so fun. And it just gives a whole nother lesson of like, from start to finish, this is how it began and this is how it ends. And then you get to consume it. And guess what? You grew it and it's pretty rewarding. It's pretty rewarding to pick it and eat it and be like, oh, I didn't have to go anywhere for that. It was right here. And it's fresh, it's clean, there's no bad things on it. It wasn't handled by anyone but me. And you feel very accomplished when that happens. So if you don't believe me, just try it. Just try it. Getting them in the grocery store. But seriously, I know moms with littles, it's not something you want to do all the time. So you could either make it a dedicated, like, educating time of shopping, or just try to sprinkle some things in while you're trying to get most of your shopping done. But I get it. I definitely struggle with the grocery store and bringing all my kids, but sometimes it's just, you know what, we're just going to do it. You make the most of it. You try and get them involved, or you'll just let them watch a video on your phone, because sometimes that's how you get through. Especially if I want to read labels on things before buying it. It's like, or comparing prices on certain things, and I have to do the math. Then I have to take the phone away and say, hold on a minute, mommy needs her phone. Because I always forget to bring the iPad. But that was just a side note. So just bring them into the store. They have to know at least. So it's like, get them comfortable with that. Don't make it such a, this is what mommy does. Like, they need to know and get them involved so that they are set up for success in the future. That was my next point. Set your children up for success. Nothing bad has ever come out of choosing to eat from home more often. I think that we need to choose that more often. And we're a society that, we gather around food. Like anything that we do, oh, what can I bring? Like, it doesn't even matter. It could just be the smallest thing, but yet there's food there, or an appetizer, or a drink. But most cultures, and here in America, like, food is a way that it just brings people together, right? So we are so in tune with, like, just always having food and needing it and using it as a way to bond and spend time together. So, as I mentioned, the holidays are coming up, like, as a huge part of coming together. And it's a beautiful thing. And so, the dinner time is so important to spend that time together and eat a meal that you've cooked. When you're cooking from home, you are more in control of your ingredients. You worked hard for that meal and you're practicing a life skill that's going to serve you long term. So I'm all about being in control. I'm sure everyone's raising their hands. I mean, how are you? I mean, don't tell me you don't ever like to be in control. Like, we all like that feeling most times. But when it comes to my food and our ingredients, like, if I can be in control of as most of it as I can, I want to because I know that it's going to benefit us. And so one way I can do that is being able to cook from home and buying the right ingredients and using the olive oil or avocado oil or coconut oil over the vegetable or canola or soybean. Nope, you ain't gonna find that in my muffins or in my burgers or whatever. Like, nope, that's not a part of our cooking. And it doesn't have to be, complicated if you don't want it to be. Simple home cooked meals, they're really easy to come by. I mean, we also have so much on the internet. We have access to Pinterest and Instagram. I feel like Instagram just constantly keeps showing me recipes and people's, oh my gosh, like seriously, I'm like, oh, what's this one? Oh, what are they making in this one? Save. Oh, I need to go to their website and find and pin their recipe because I want to make that. Like, seriously, Instagram has turned into Foodstagram, Recipe-stagram, basically. So it's just, it just cracks me up because I feel like, oh, the algorithm, right? Because I'm saving more and I'm viewing these videos. They know what I want to watch. So here we go. Let's just fatten Gabby up even more because, she wants to make all the brownies and cookies and whatever else is being shown to me. But yeah, so another side note. But it's so easy just to find the simple things. People have such easy, simple recipes out there, and it's not hard. I will say cooking for me is easier than like baking. I cannot come up with recipes by myself. I don't know exactly the exact measurements of things when it comes to baking, so I need to follow a recipe for that. For cooking, I typically can look at a recipe and tweak it how I need to, adjust it. I can come up with things on my own a little bit easier now, where it doesn't have to be to a T because it's not a science of like the rising and the baking and the eggs and the all that stuff and how it all adds together to create the baked good. So there's just two very different things. But for me, I grew up in a larger family, and so did Alex. So growing up in the larger families, we just grew accustomed to eating at home more. It was too much to eat out often. So we ate at home simply because it was budget friendly. So, pastas, meats, veggies, and starches, the homemade bread, you like a hash type thing. So you have like small cubed potatoes with ground beef and a veggie in there. Maybe you have a little gravy or something. The salads and things like that, stir fries. I didn't grow up on all the healthiest things, but over time, as I got older and our family expanded and grew and things like that, our menu expanded, we'll say. But yeah, so just a lot of things that could go a long way. I mean, my mom used to, we used to get ramen noodles and put a package of, some ground beef in there and some veggies and just try to make it go a long way. It was a way to make, some meat go a long way, and things like that. So, yeah, being in a larger family just kind of forced me to eat at home a bit more. And so you just have to start simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. And eventually you'll want to experiment and you're going to want to try more things, or your family's going to want you to, or give you ideas or whatever. And, we've talked a lot on this podcast. There is a fruit fly here. It is driving me absolutely nuts. And I just want to smack him. Oh, I got him. Okay. He would not leave me alone. Okay. But I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, just starting simple. We've talked a lot on this podcast about failing and not being afraid to try something and not letting a failure set you back, but it's an opportunity for growth and to move forward. And so when you burn a meal or it tastes awful or you subbed a different ingredient that you definitely shouldn't have subbed in there, but you found out the hard way, great. That doesn't mean you're bad at cooking, that you'll never get it. How are you ever going to get it if you don't ever try and you don't ever get feedback from other people or yourself? So yeah, just plan to have some flops. That's what I tell people when I teach them sourdough. I had my own flops. I had my duds. I sometimes still get my duds, and I don't know where it comes from. It just comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I was distracted or I missed something or who knows what. So yeah, start simple. Don't do complicated recipes. Do things your family will eat. Maybe you need to have a powwow with them and say, hey, mommy's going to start cooking at home a little bit more. Maybe think of the places you like to go eat and try and replicate some of that. I am all for doing that. Like, making something that's not quite as healthy or it's an eating out type thing. Like, how can you make chicken nuggets at home? How could you make breaded chicken? How could you make French fries? Like some of those fun foods, like make them more homemade. We really rotate, honestly, is organic rice. We don't do brown rice all the time, but typically organic long grain. White rice is one of our options for a dinner. We have either larger cubed potatoes in our air fryer. We love those. They're so good. The air fryer, it like crisps them up perfect. Olive oil and seasonings, and then you throw those puppies in there. So good. Mashed potatoes. You could do, really you could do anything. Stir fried. So those are our two main starches. We don't do a lot of pastas or casseroles in this home. Just like the boys and I will eat, and Juliet will eat pasta things more for lunch, or if we decide to do it for dinner, I just make some separate things then for my husband, so that I can cater to his preferences and his likings, because we're all a little bit different. So I don't always want to make different meals, but sometimes I'm like, hey, Dad's gonna have pizza and we're gonna have our spaghetti tonight. That's just how it's gonna go, because that's easy. So sometimes that's how it works. Homemade pizzas are so fun and so easy. You can even prep and make them ahead of time if you want to, but otherwise it's really not hard. It's super simple. And just getting cleaner ingredients into your body. So it takes planning, it takes preparation, and I get it. Yes, sometimes some of you are full-time workers. You're not a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you stay home part-time, and you really just have to plan and prep in those pockets of time and really make it happen. But it's really going to benefit you so much more in your family. So don't let, the time thing be an excuse. Where are we wasting our time, honestly? So there's time. There's always time. You can make things in bulk. You can freeze them. We always make dinner rolls. I'm not always making dinner rolls. I make enough so that we have extra and we freeze them, and I pull them out a couple at a time when, Alex wants a couple with dinner, or Winston does. And I usually have my sourdough already for those of us that prefer sourdough. There's, veggies in the freezer always. You just have to plan a little bit extra and have some extra things on hand, and make a little extra at a time so you can pull some out for the next meal when you want them. And the goal is to always, just find the things that your family really gravitates towards. It has to be customized to you and your family. So your body's always going to crave more of what you give it. So if you're going to give it junk, it's going to want the junk. If you nourish it with homemade, that's what it's going to want. It will want more of the homemade. I'm not ever saying to never go through the drive-thru, never grab the rotisserie chicken, never, grab the easy Marie Callender lasagna pan to throw in your oven. Sometimes life, it all depends. It really all depends. I will say that when I want fast food or drive, takeout, just where it's easy, where I'm like, can we just go pick something up? Sometimes, Alex loves Domino's, so we'll do Domino's sometimes. Sometimes I'll grab something from the Chinese restaurant that's always next to a Domino's. Can someone explain to me? I feel like every Domino's has a Chinese restaurant next to it. I'm not complaining, but literally everywhere. Prove me wrong. You tell me. So sometimes I'll grab Chinese. Sometimes I eat the Domino's, but otherwise, if I can line it up, I will order a Chipotle salad, and I will go to Chipotle and pick up. And it's so, I could eat that like multiple times a week, or just once a week, every week if I could. So I really try to choose the better. Not that Chinese food is better, but just saying, Chipotle is one of my main go-tos when I'm like, I don't want Chick-fil-A, I don't want Arby's, I don't want, it's not my cup of tea sometimes. And honestly, most of the time, my family doesn't feel good afterwards, or they're in the bathroom, and we just are like, yeah, we're glad we don't eat this way all the time. And honestly, it has stopped me from going through the drive-thru at Culver's when I see my favorite flavor of the day. But I know I have my Costco ice cream in the freezer that I know doesn't give me gut rot. It has stopped me many times where I'm like, you know what? It just doesn't make me feel good. And I could just make my own favorite flavor of the day with the really good, cleaner ingredient ice cream in my freezer. So save me time and a little tummy ache, even if it does taste good. Yeah, we used to get Culver's quite a bit, but I'm always down. A good custard, you have me at custard. I'm a sucker for some good custard. So yeah, when you cook at home, you're gonna feel better, just like I've been explaining. You're gonna look better. You're not gonna have puffiness, baggy eyes, like maybe you've got rashes or inflammation and just, I don't know, things that are bogged down because of the junk ingredients that you've been eating, or your family. And it's going to help you save money. Yep. It'll help you save money. Be resourceful. Use home meal kits. Some people just need to use the meal kit thing. Like, I'm pretty sure it became really popular since 2020. Why does everything have to reference back to 2020? But, oh my goodness, Green Chef, oh my gosh, why can't I think of any, Your Plate, My Plate, or something? Yeah, there's so many ones. Why am I drawing a blank? I don't even know. But all of those meal things where you can customize them and they ship the exact amount of ingredients you need for each meal right to your door, and they give you the recipe card, and boom, you can make it. Like, that is where you could start. Invest a little money in doing that just to get you rocking and rolling. You're going to be able to save those recipe cards. If you're a family that likes to try all the different things, try a few different styles of recipes, different ethnic foods, and figure out which ones you really like, which ones you gravitate towards, which ones are easy to make, which ones aren't. What could you buy in bulk and start being able to make it in your home rather than needing to overpay it for these meal kit things? But honestly, they do come in handy. So I would look. I don't know why I'm calling them meal kits, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. I really don't know why I can't think of any of the names. Every Plate, that's one of them. Green Chef, is that one too? I don't know. I hope that kind of sparked what I'm talking about. So yeah, really consider that if you need a jump start, I would highly recommend it. We don't need it, but I get it. I do. And I think it's such a cool thing to be offered. Again, you can use Pinterest, you can use Instagram, you can use YouTube, you could use your mom or your grandma. Like, oh my goodness, let them teach you. Maybe find a couple like family traditional recipes that are just good. Use them. Use all of those resources, okay? Just be resourceful. Yeah, and don't use the excuses of time or not knowing where to start. Like, yeah, it really doesn't have to be complicated. And you might surprise yourself in what you'll accomplish, and you'll feel accomplished, and you'll feel more equipped, and you'll be able to get your kids involved, and they're going to be equipped, and they're not going to have to rely on a microwaved or oven thing in the future. And they're going to feel good, and they're going to feel healthy, and they're going to know exactly, what's going to nourish their bodies, and enjoy the convenience of the convenient food of our day in our society when it's needed and when it's actually needed to be convenient. When you're going through hard times, or it's just a crazy busy day or week, those are the times when it could just really be a blessing and really help. but it also can really be a blessing when you know that, hey, you know what? I actually made a bunch of this ahead of time. We can just pull it right out of the freezer and enjoy it. Or I have, it's not hard to whip this up. It won't take me long. For our family, we really, because, I cater, more of the dinner times to be a little bit more to my husband's preferences, because I can do things during the day with my kids that they would enjoy, or that I would like them to enjoy more of, that I know like Dad wouldn't. We'll do most of our dinners of, like I said, the rice or the potato. We'll do some salads, but like it's chicken, pork, beef. So we would do like tacos. We do ground turkey tacos. We've done ground bison tacos. I'll do like a hash type thing. So we'll cook up the potatoes really small, and then we'll have the ground beef in there. Sometimes I make a little gravy sauce that goes with it. We love pot pie. Homemade pot pie is great. But we cook up pork chops. We bread things sometimes. Our dinners are pretty simple. And when I'm feeling like I want to go above and beyond and take the time to make something for me, like I actually made my bison chili in the crock pot, and I'm really the only one that'll eat it. My kids aren't big chili fans, and there's kind of some chunks of tomatoes in there, and I get it, that's fine. But I was like, oh, it is cold, and I found some bison marked down and on sale, so I bought 3 packs, and there's sweet potato in there. I threw some zucchini and some beans, added a couple extra things, but I used my homemade beef bone broth, and I've been eating that the last couple days just for me to have on hand. And so, I make a few things for myself. But we'll do chicken soup in these cooler months. We'll have the dinner rolls already made most of the time in the freezer in bulk. I'll have the sourdough. So like our meals are very simple, but like pastas are super easy too. I mean, if you haven't heard of the feta pasta cherry tomato thing that went viral on TikTok, I mean, just go Google feta pasta on TikTok or whatever, and it'll pop up. That one is super good. The boys and I actually, I always say the boys and I, all of my kids and I enjoy it very much. But again, not catered to my husband's preferences, which is fine. So sometimes it'll be one of the nights he has pizza, or we do it for lunch or whatever. Our meals are, it's real simple. Pie crust. Oh, how can I make that homemade? Oh, pot pie, how could I make that homemade? Oh, pizzas, how could I make that homemade? But I get it. Sometimes you need to find the easier out, and frozen pizzas are great when needed. I don't always have the time to make those ahead of time. But again, when you're cooking from home, you're going to feel better. So I hope that like some of those gave you some practical ideas, some advice, some tips, and you're really putting into practice the reading the labels like we've talked about, and becoming your own health advocate. Because here at Rooted in Health, like I say all the time, we're here for the long run. We're here to serve our bodies for the long run. We're not here for any short-term, quick fix type things. And this is a great place to start, right in your home. And make it like a restaurant. It was so sweet. The other day, Winston made a comment that like, homemade is the best, or something like that. I don't remember what he was eating. Maybe it was we had applesauce and homemade bread and beans from our garden or something with our dinner. And we had commented like, look, this is from our garden. Mommy made this bread. We canned the applesauce and it's all from homemade. And he's like, oh, homemade is the best, and that just warms my heart. Cause like, look we worked hard for that. We made it and we grew it, or we baked it, whatever. And so I say, yeah, this is like the Flater restaurant. This is our restaurant. And we get to eat good food here. Man, if I could own a restaurant, gosh, man, that would be a dream. I know that is so stressful and comes with so much, but if it could just be an easy button thing where I could just like make people good food all the time. That would be a dream. That would be a dream for sure. I feel like that's always been on my heart, and who knows what God has in store down the road. But I would love that opportunity somehow, some way, for a farm to table type experience for people. Yeah, so make your home the restaurant that your family wants to eat at every night. And once you start eating this way, you're never going to look back. So I hope that this blessed you, that this encouraged you and motivated you to want to be in your kitchen more. Just try it. Start with ordering those meal kits if you got to start from square one and someone has to give you the step-by-step instructions. I get it. Me, it comes really naturally. I love it. Growing up again in the large family, I had to learn how to make some meals because I had to help my mom, and so did Alex. Like him and his siblings were all on rotation of like, this is your day for lunch, and his mom would have taught them a few different kinds of meals and be like, okay, this is what is for lunch, and you learned how to make this, so make it for everyone, or for breakfast or whatever it might be. And so, these are just things that we had grown up with. But I understand that not everybody has that same kind of growing up, that upbringing. But just think about, if you didn't have that, what are your kids going to have? And how are you supporting them in their future with their health and their wellness, so that they can thrive and be able to live life to the fullest and not having to be worried about being bogged down with health issues or just the low energy, and any of that kind of stuff, just struggling, because there's really something to be said when you're just nourishing your body with real food, real animal meat, real, vegetables and fruits and homemade, and less of the processed oils and sugars, and you're eating the full fat dairy, and you're having the good sourced things, good pasture raised eggs, none of this like fake egg crap and like whatever boxed stuff. And there is just something to be said with how much your body responds to when you give it the right things long term. So with that being said, I hope that this was helpful. Please give me any feedback or comments. Share this on your social media, or share this privately with a friend or a family member who needs to just be encouraged, or just have insight to this. And that would mean so much to me. And tag me in your stories. You can share in our Rooted in Health Facebook group. That's always linked in my email or in this podcast show notes. And just share your questions, takeaways, maybe a win that you had. Share a meal that you made that your family enjoyed. I love being able to see your guys' feedback and hear about it, and all of that stuff. So with that, I hope you guys have an awesome week and happy cooking. Talk to you soon.